Welcome to the Quality Problems Podcast, where we see problems as opportunities to learn, develop, and grow, both on a personal level and with your dog. In this podcast, we'll provide a unique perspective and the tools you'll need to take on challenges and come up with problem-solving solutions. The bigger the problem, the bigger the opportunity. Now let's get to problem solving. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Quality Problems Podcast. It's your host, Stan Smith, CEO of XDOG. And of course, I got my crew with me as always. To my left, I got Mr. Derek Rowe, celebrity dog trainer from Dallas Canine Academy. Of course, I got A. Zeter over here to my right. And of course, if it ain't right, it's Logan White.
Yes, sir.
And we're doing something unique today. For those who are on our Facebook page, XDOG Vest, you're actually getting some live behind-the-scenes stuff. So today's episode is going to be talking about living in the moment. But for those who are new to the podcast, man, welcome. If you have not left us a review, if you could do us a solid, go to iTunes and leave us a review. If you find any nuggets out of this, it would really help us out. We're all doing this for free. Hopefully you find some value out of it. And for those who are not new, welcome back. We couldn't do it without your support, so we definitely appreciate that. But today, we're going to talk about living in the moment. I think that's an extremely important attribute as far as when it comes to growing in life. A lot of people dwell on the fucking past, right? Mm-hmm. And your past doesn't determine your future, and you can't really think too much far into the future. Mm-hmm. You got to live right now in order to make things happen. I mean, every day we work on our daily tasks, right? Like, right. It's kind of crazy. But, you and I talked about it, Derek, for a while earlier today about how dogs kind of live in the moment and how they don't live in the moment. Why don't you kind of talk about that and get a little bit of details about how actual dog minds work when it comes to training? Let's say they're learning something new as far as an obedience like sit, stay, maybe a bad habit that you're constantly, doing, or maybe they had a bad experience with a trainer, and it doesn't seem like they actually do live in the moment, in a way. In some cases, we hear all the time that they do live in the moment, like dogs are really quick to forgive, right?
Yeah. Well, first, let me start off by saying that I told you to start with that guy. You totally disregarded everything I said. So,
come on.
Okay,
Derek.
Now with dogs, from my experience, if you have a dog, let's say you give a dog a correction for something that he or she doesn't understand, right? It ties back to the communication, but that dog may become really handler sensitive.
What do you mean by handler sensitive?
Cower down, shy away, anticipate the correction.
Now that's per individual or per?
It depends on the dog.
Gotcha.
It depends on the dog. If the dog is not a strong dog, or strong-willed dog, the dog can become really, really handler sensitive and shy, just because you gave him a correction. So therefore, that dog is living in that moment. Okay, I know that I'm going to get a correction from this guy, but I don't know why the hell he's going to correct me. I just know it's coming. Yeah. So the dog is going to hold on to that moment from the correction that the idiot handler gave him.
Is that fixable?
Yeah, you can fix that.
How you do that?
A lot of rewards, a lot of positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
A lot of positive reinforcement.
Gotcha. Logan.
It's interesting to know.
You're living in the fucking moment, right?
Yeah, every day, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said just a second ago, I don't dwell on the past. Obviously, I put myself through the fire academy, and I did all that. And I thought that's what I was going to be. Mm-hmm. But shit, you gave me the opportunity, and I'm running with the opportunity. And right now, I'm living in the moment as we're constantly growing, and I'm not even looking back on what I was doing in the past. Yeah. And I'm not preparing for the future either. I mean, I'm preparing for the future, but I'm not. As you could say, amping myself up or hyping myself up for something that, might or might not come. I'm just living in the moment. I'm doing the things that need to be done, setting my goals, accomplishing my task, and each and every single day I'm, literally living in the moment, just going going with the flow. So
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's kind of crazy because, you know, AZ, you produce music. You're a music producer. When you get up in the studio, where's your mindset at as far as, like, are you thinking of things that happened during the day? Are you thinking about your past? Where's your mind at?
You know, I approach it differently every time, but I know that in the midst of, let's just say I got an idea coming, okay, sometimes I'm just inspired by maybe something that happened during the day, maybe something from my past, but as it's happening, that goes away because if my mind's too much on what is this beat gonna turn out to, or what is this song gonna turn out to, I'm probably never gonna get there. Versus like just let it flow, let it happen as it's coming in, embrace what's happening, and that's what I'm saying. I never plan out what the outcome's gonna be. It's always kind of when I get there, I get there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like for music, to me, in my creative process, like I'm inspired by my past. I understand what I've been through. It made me the producer I am today. You know, even today, me and Derek talked about music from Memphis. He had no idea I knew about some of the oldest like rap stuff, but that
was crazy.
That inspired me as a
You
kid.
didn't know that?
I didn't know this guy knew anything about Tommy
But
Wright the Third. From
I'm
Memphis,
not
Tennessee.
gonna sit in the studio saying I'm gonna make a beat from Tommy Wright the Third. You know what I mean? Or like for Tommy Wright the Third. Instead, I'm like, that molded me, but let me create me. So living in the moment is very important to me in the creative process for music. Like it is something, you know, I never plan what I'm gonna make. I just make it.
Yeah.
I think we all four relate to that. Like you were saying, like you don't just go in the studio and I'm gonna make this beat and then, you know, you might not ever get to it.
Right.
Because I think living in the moment, going with the flow is so important. Like we set goals, right? Obviously, we set goals, we want to achieve them. You know, do our daily tasks, but it's about just the little things that you're doing in between those moments. Like you gotta do the things in the moment, or it's never gonna get done. You know, so it's like I said, don't dwell on the past, but don't sit here and plan all this stuff for the future if you're not gonna do the things that need to be done. Within that time frame.
But that can't equal to not having a goal or not having something set. Like, yes, we're gonna make some sales.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not like you set your bar high, make it something that maybe you can achieve, but don't make it where if I don't reach it, it's a problem.
Right.
If anything, you might go beyond that, or you might find an alternative to reaching that goal, which isn't the same, but it's still just as valuable. Or, you know what I mean?
Now, like when we're talking about living in the moment, that can go hand in hand with family.
Oh, for
and
sure.
family events and things like that. For me, I've learned a lot since my little twin cousin got stabbed in the head, right?
Oh, yeah.
That they used to invite me to all their volleyball and dance and basketball.
Right.
But I always said, I'll make the next one. I'll make the next one.
Yeah.
Instead of living in that moment and going and participating and letting them know that, hey, I'm here to support whatever you all are doing. So living in the moment is huge, huge. So that made me realize, okay, with my kids or with my wife, I need to live more in the moment instead of saying, hey, I make the next one or I make it up and things like that.
Right.
Indeed.
I think we all struggle with that, man. You know,
Yeah.
like as far as, you know, making the time. We always say we don't have the time. We always have the time.
Yeah.
We're just not making the sacrifices to make that time, you know.
My wife is going to love hearing you say that. Lord, please.
Shit, dude, like I told, I mean, I've been preaching this for the last couple of weeks. What time do I wake up?
4 a.m.
4 a.m. What time I go to bed?
10, 11.
Yeah, 10, 11. I get about a 6-hour window of sleep. I got to do it on a consistent basis, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So I can make the time to, 1, run a business, 2, fulfill my daily task with the moment that I have to fulfill a daily task every day.
Right.
We get the opportunity to, I mean, we had a really good opportunity to watch you work with some of your clients in-house. Like today you were working with Lonnie, and you're very in the moment, man, when you're working with your clients, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I get to see you watch, I get to watch you work with him today on some corrections. I pick up all kinds of stuff from you. From a puppy standpoint to an adult dog standpoint, how big is the difference? How big is the gap when it comes to the learning curve and the being in the moment?
Being in a moment with a puppy, if you lay the proper foundation for that puppy, that's something that he or she is going to carry on into their adulthood. So the mistakes that you make, and if they're not fixed properly at a young age, those same mistakes are going to occur when shit crumbles.
Yeah.
In the upper levels of competition or later on in adult life. For example, and let's say you are allowing issues to occur in your healing. You're allowing your dog head to dip in your healing, and you're not correcting that. When you get to the upper levels and the pressure builds on that young dog or that older dog, it's going to revert back to that foundation that you allowed he or she to get away with, and the head is going to start dipping, and it's going to start paying attention to everything else around besides paying attention to you.
Gotcha.
And I made a video about that today, and I was thinking about it when I was training my little puppy Classic today.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm focusing on his head position, making sure he pays attention to me.
Yeah.
And if he checks out, I check out. So we both gonna live in that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense in all aspects of life. I mean, you should apply that to anything. I was just thinking, like I'm single, been dating, and you meet people, and as you're like meeting people, and they have their own approaches to when they meet someone. Of course, they look for, I'm attracted to them. I look for these great qualities, but where is your motive? Because some people are either occupying their time, one, or two, it's like they think automatically, I would marry him, or I would do this, or I would do. And when you start thinking too far ahead, you kind of spoil that maybe there's a bond that could have grown there or is growing, but go right ahead.
No, I didn't, not to interrupt you, but you talk about how you're dating and stuff. Now, when you go on these dates, do you make it a habit? Because I know I've been doing this personally just with my family and stuff, and just with guys around here. Is I put my phone away.
100%. That's my thing too. Yeah. Like, and if anything, they notice that. Yeah. They're like, I like that you don't have your phone out. I said, I never bring it out. To me, it's disrespectful because that's a part of us now. That's a part of our life. And the thing is, it takes your time. It takes a lot of your time. If you think about it every day on a daily basis, everybody depends on their phone.
I think it shows the person that, they're important.
Right. Like, give them attention because that's what you're there for, to learn and basically find out who each other is. How can y'all do that?
Man, please stop, man. You already know what they about, man. Look at Instagram. They put all their business on Instagram, Facebook. Y'all stop right there.
Well, now that's different. That's different. Like, it depends on who you go on a date with. I ain't going on a date with no, Instagram model and stuff.
Please
you know
don't.
What I mean?
Don't do that.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it is important, like living in the moment, but also not thinking too far ahead because. When I see a lot of times, and it's happened to me, and not me personally doing it, but it's the other person sometimes where they're leading on because they think you're ideal because at the beginning it seems like a sure thing, But when you start talking like that and bringing it into, speaking it out into existence, that's when like things can spoil because I don't want to hear about kids, marriage. I don't want to. I don't want to think about the future when I'm trying to find out about you.
Yeah, I think that comes to forcing. Like you're forcing the moment. Like instead of enjoying it, and literally what you're doing right now is like you're getting ahead of yourself. You're not living in the moment, and that's when it comes to like you're just forcing something that might not ever happen to where.
And automatically that's over now. Like that connection, that bridge has been burnt because
I've done that.
Yeah,
man. Well, my wife first came over to my house. She still lives in this moment. She first came over to my house. I had a house in Plano, right? Mm-hmm. My wife came over. She pulled up, and she said, "Where are we going?" I said, "We're gonna go up here to Chaucer's. You ever been to Chaucer's, man?"
Chaucer's?
Chaucer's. Am I saying
the
right?
restaurant?
Yeah.
They don't serve barbecue, but yeah. I love Chaucer's. That's in Allen?
No, they have one in Plano.
No. Yeah, Plano.
Right by Frisco. But my wife pulls up. I wanted her to know who I really was. And I told her, "Hey, you driving?"
I thought you fucking pulled up in the horse.
No. I told her, "Hey, you drive." I said, my truck's kind of dirty. Can you drive? Hey. She lives in that moment to the day. She never let me live that down.
So it sounds like she's going to the past then.
Yeah.
Right?
You got maybe when she listens to this episode, you'd be like, "Hey, listen.
We can't hold on to
now
that.
You can't hold on to your fucking past."
But guess who drove?
You.
Yep.
Or just say, "Why are you bringing up old shit?" Just say that. No, but seriously, I think in all aspects, I mean, it's not just business. It's not just with your dog. I mean, relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just you personally that kind of stuff is vital. Like living in the moment, but sometimes I feel like you got to balance it too. Of course, think ahead of your future of like where you want to be in a few years and maybe a plan of action of how you're going to get there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, quit focusing so far ahead. I actually use an example to somebody that I used to work with back in the day. And it was something like, look, I get it, bro. Like, this is what you want. You're so set on it. But how the hell are you going to get there when you're constantly looking at the GPS?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're too, focused on getting there and looking at the directions, you're not even looking at what's in front of you. You can easily crash. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just.
I think to sum it up, live in a moment because tomorrow is not promised.
That's true too. Huh?
I think you're right about it has to be a balance, and there's a fine line with that balance. I mean, can we all agree that living in the past isn't something that any of us should be living in? Like, you have to kind of remember.
No.
Yes.
You remember things that happened in the past. You learn from them, but you can't dwell on them.
You
And they
can't.
don't.
You
Yeah,
definitely can.
there's good things and there's bad things in the past.
Yes.
Just like there's gonna be good things and bad things in the future. But
I do that with music, man. I mean, honestly, I need to hear the old material because it shows my growth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, hearing that kind of stuff is like, damn, I've gotten better. You need that.
Good point. Because I go back and look at some of my old dog training videos and some of my old decoying videos, and I say to myself, fuck, you a horrible boy. You a horrible. And I really, just like last podcast,
Yeah.
self-honesty, I was not self-honest with myself.
Look at his delivery on his finger.
Hey,
He's
man,
not doing this. He's
because
doing this.
I thought I was doing something. I was a piece of shit, man.
Oh, my
Hey,
God.
I was
me
a
a-
piece of shit.
Let me ask y'all this question. What's your thoughts on people will always be who they are and they can't ever change? Do you agree with that? Do you think that people have the opportunity to change?
I give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
I always feel like everybody can grow. It's if you want to. You know what I mean? I'm not the same person I was a month ago.
I think that's where you hit the nail on the coffin. What do you think? You think people can change?
Yeah, they can change. I think everyone
Why
can
do you,
change.
Why do you think that's a big saying then? Like, he's never going to change. A person's never going to change.
Because that person chooses not to display that they have the capability of changing.
yeah, they don't take initiative on something that
Like
they can
me,
get better at.
I can change in my marriage when my wife is asking me to do something, but when I sit back and think about it, I did not change because I personally didn't want to change, and I felt like I was being forced to be changed.
Well,
Yeah.
what you just said right there, the example of that person saying that,
Yeah.
it's like those are the kind of people that are in their circle anyways. Because this is the thing, man. A lot of us can get carried away in life and not know when to change, right?
Yeah.
So our circle sometimes they either enable it or you have good friends that check you. And
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
look, man, like get your shit together.
Yes.
You're messing up right now.
Straight up.
Fix it.
Yeah.
Now that person probably doesn't have that. And you as a good person from the outside viewing, it's your choice to step in and maybe let them know. If they choose to accept that news, that's up to them. But if they don't, then maybe they're just comfortable in their circle and they want to stay that way and be enabled. You know what I mean? That's how I see it.
I love the motto, evolve or repeat. Like, you're either going to do the same shit you've been doing in the past and, you see that you ain't changed at all, or you have changed and when the change is bad, or you evolve from what you've been doing and, you learn from it, and you live in a moment, you take action and you do it. Like, because I love that saying, like, evolve or repeat.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Like,
pretty badass.
goes for everything.
Yeah.
Business, nutrition, exercise. I mean, you do the same workouts, you're not going to get the results. You eat the same way, you're not going to get the results.
So do you feel like living in a moment could hurt you? Like, for example, I'll start tomorrow. So let me eat like shit now. Let me not exercise now.
Oh man, that'd get you, bro.
It adds up. Next thing you know, it's like, I'll start on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm going to do it next Monday.
And then you done gained
and then the Monday
20
after that.
pounds.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, bro, you got to.
Why'd you look at me when you said that?
No, because it was
I'm
me.
just kidding.
It was
Yeah.
me. I was like, man, I'll start later, or hey, I can have this cheat meal.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, you'd had like 7 cheat meals, man.
Yo, man, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you were kind of an enabler when I first met you because
Wow.
I was high on. Remember, I was hard on keto, and he's
Uh-huh.
like, "Come on, man! Like, one piece of candy ain't gonna hurt." You know what I mean? Like,
see, those are the people you stay away from.
Nah, man. Well,
That's the no compromise motto that I always like to tell myself. Fucking zero compromise, no compromise.
yeah,
just like when I was on 75 hard, you know, I was like 4 days in, I ate that fruit roll up. Dude, he gave me shit for that, and I was like, man, it's kind of like the same as a protein bar. And he was like,
No,
dude,
not
no,
only
it's
that,
not.
He was trying to say it's
Yes.
like real fruit.
He was look 10% fruit. Look, he was trying to sell the fact that it was actually healthy for him or beneficial.
Do you not feel bad after eating?
Yeah, I did. I was like, shit, man. I
Man,
gotta
you feel
start
horrible,
over.
don't
Yeah.
you? Make you want to go to the gym, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was like, damn it.
We got any questions, Gomi? Nothing so far? Cool.
Good. Don't ask me anything.
No, but stuff like that, and what you're bringing up too is a good point. Consequences. You know, like we can live in the moment, and if we're too much in the moment and not thinking of consequence or what could happen for certain things,
Yes.
it could bite you in the ass as well. So it's kind of like you got to keep a fair balance.
It's a fine line. It's a really, really fine line.
Yeah.
And you got to know how to balance that line.
So what do you guys do when it comes to balancing it?
Pray. I suck at it, man.
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it day in and day out, man.
Well, I think everything offsets each other because when I live in the moment, I either try not to make mistakes from my past, but then I also got to consider the consequences in the future. So it's kind of like you build that rhythm, but it's based off you know, the person. I've grown a lot in the past years, you know what I mean? Like I'm 29, but at 19, you know, like I didn't give a shit about consequences.
Yeah.
And I was still creating my past.
Hey, I have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
How would you all live in this moment? Let's say you have 3 kids at home, right?
Got 4.
We're not giving you advice on your
So
Yeah,
check
you
this.
gotta find that
Well,
out
you got
yourself.
one. He's a 17-year-old. He's at football camps, right?
Yep.
Then you have the 11-year-old. Then you have the 7. Then you have the 2. The 11-year-old and 7-year-old both had football practice yesterday and basketball practice yesterday. The 2-year-old had tap and dance yesterday. How would you live in that moment, Stan?
I mean, that's a hard balance in life. I mean, at the end of the day, you have an extraordinary wife who can help you. And if
She's
you-
at work.
She's at work. So let's look at this whole situation. All right. So let's start again. Who has the first? Event or
Lyric,
who?
my daughter.
All right. What time is that?
That was at 5:30.
All right. So you got 5:30, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what time's that over?
6:30.
So you got 1 hour window, right?
Uh-huh.
And then what's next?
At 6:30, football practice.
How far away?
Carrollton,
Carrollton.
40 minutes.
Okay. So there's no way for you to even get him over there.
Nope.
So you're gonna have to sacrifice somebody.
Yep.
That sucks.
No, but look, man, you can take
And then
turns.
basketball practice right after that.
You can take turns. You just don't need to have the excuses. I'll make the next one, like you said.
So
Like,
this is what I came up with. And if anybody's listening, please DM me or private message me on what you all would do.
Yeah.
My 2-year-old, she's not going to remember.
Ah,
hey, I took
my wife was furious. We pay
Yeah.
$80 a month for her to be in dance. And I said, man,
You guys are gonna have to strategize a little bit better, then, man.
guess what she came up with?
What?
Let me quit.
Your daughter?
My wife.
Oh, let you quit.
Let her quit.
yeah, man. I mean, you just gotta
Work.
work harder.
Or here's another thing: guys can find a way to hire somebody who is a personal assistant dancer, teacher, and have her come over at a different time.
I like that.
that's true.
You know?
I think I'm going to do that. Hire someone to come over.
Yeah. I mean, because she's 2 years old, so right now she's considered like a puppy, right?
Yeah.
So just all she needs is the basic.
All she needs is foundation.
Yeah.
There you go.
And a lot of rewards. Wife,
Yeah.
if you're listening, we got to market train our daughter.
Hey, speaking
Oh,
of your daughter,
she's calling.
Speaking of marker trainer, like his daughter has him market trained. Like she was sitting in the chair one night, and he was in the middle of training and focused on that, and she's like, right, and he just automatically, without even looking at her, grabs the bottle of whatever it was, puts it in her hand.
His ears perked. His ears perked.
She
and
had it
everything.
wrapped around his finger, like she had him trained.
Yeah, she got me trained, my daughter.
But
That's
yeah.
a moment I will always live in.
That's a
Yeah.
good dad, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you are a good dad.
I
You,
like
work,
to
you
say.
try hard and you
I-
care about trying to solve the problem, right?
Yeah,
there.
like growing up. And for the people that say, I grew up without a dad, right? That's what I hear a lot of, especially like African American people. A lot of them use that as an excuse. I tell all those guys to use it as motivation.
Yeah.
to become a better person, to be a better dad than your dad can ever imagine being to you.
Sure.
And to be an amazing, amazing father to your kids once you have kids.
Yeah.
And the cycle has to break.
It's kind of crazy because I've been struggling with that lately as far as just like one, the hard road is there's a lot of learning curves in that struggle, and then you don't want your kids to go through it, but then they take a lot of shit for granted. So now you've got to. It's a different balance, man, because you don't ever want them to deal with that struggle ever, right? But then how do they learn?
Yeah, because
That's a good one, Stan.
there's the enabling part where it's like you let them have everything. They don't have no appreciation for it.
Don't
They
value a
don't understand the
dollar.
work for it. It's kind of like you don't want them to suffer and be broke or grow up broke or poor.
Yeah.
Like I knew I grew up not having a lot of money. I don't want my daughter to know that feeling, but at the same time, she can't wake up with a silver spoon and get everything she wants.
See, that's something I struggle with. But now I'm starting to realize my 7-year-old Ethan, he's a monster. So I'm starting to make him do certain chores before he can get something, because the kid knows how to go on Amazon and look up police duty belts and badges and all kinds of stuff. And then I'm the dad, so I feel like I didn't have a dad to do that, so I buy it. So now I make him scoop poop.
Yeah.
I make him do stuff with the dogs so he can feel like he earned it and have a value for $1. Same thing with my 11-year-old. My 17-year-old, he understands the value for $1. He's cheap just like me, and he would squeeze a penny until Abraham Lincoln cries. And my daughter,
I don't like the word cheap. I think
Frugal.
you're smart with your money.
You're frugal.
I'm very, very. I guess good point,
Yeah.
Stan. I'm not cheap, especially when it comes to buying
No,
something
you're
for
very,
myself.
very intelligent with your money and how you spend it.
But my daughter, I don't want to raise her like I'm raising my boys. I want her to be independent, but I want her to understand that, hey, Dad's gonna always be here.
Yeah, so she ain't got.
You don't have
no
to
other
depend
man.
on another man.
There you go.
Dad is gonna open the doors for you. Dad's gonna hold your bags. Dad is gonna do everything you can ever imagine a man doing for you. So when you do get a husband, you're not gonna settle.
I actually seen a post the other day where your son was carrying a bag for your daughter.
Yeah,
Teach him at
I
an
make
early
him do
age.
that. I make him do it.
That's good,
He's
though.
happy to do it now. He's like, come on, Lyric. But my wife, I struggle with that because I did not have a dad
Yeah.
to teach me on how to treat a woman.
Sure.
So every day I'm still learning. Me and my wife, I still learn every day
Yeah.
how I should treat my wife because I didn't have that example as a kid. I had my mom, but my mom was so quick. If she had a guy friend, if he didn't do something right with us,
Yeah.
she'd kick him to the curb. My mom, she was really strict on that.
No
was her-
compromise.
Yeah, we was her everything.
Yeah.
Me and my sister was her everything.
And that's an example of balance because you recognize why you struggle with it.
Yeah.
You evaluate your past and what it's made you, but at least you recognize that there's something you need to work on.
Oh yeah, I
And that-
struggle with
Yeah,
it.
that's you living in the moment trying to correct it.
Yes, absolutely.
Gotcha. So, what are some of the daily tasks or routines that you guys do as far as when it comes to living in the actual moment? Do you guys even have a routine, or how's that actually apply to your guys' daily life?
I mean, what would you say when it comes to like just a normal routine, like everyday routine?
Well, we're talking about living in the moment. So, like, I know. Do you guys
Look,
focus on tomorrow, or do you
Oh,
dwell on the
got you.
past?
I was gonna say everything I do. Let's say my power list or my to-do list every
Yeah.
day. I do it today because it makes me a better person for tomorrow.
Yeah.
That makes sense. If
I
I,
love
work
that.
on my
I love
health,
that, AZ.
I'm gonna be healthy. You know what I mean? Like, I can extend my life if I wake up, work out, fast. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like it all applies to the same thing. Like I am living in the moment, but it is for my future.
Why do you live in the moment? Is it? Do you look at it as an investment?
Of course. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm gonna always shoot it right back to health. But I'm just saying, like, that's probably one of the biggest investments you can make.
It
in
is
your
the
own life.
biggest
Yes,
investment.
that's
Yeah.
for everyone.
Yeah.
That's for everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you think people, for example, take their health for granted so much?
Because it's so easy to be
It's
lazy and
easy to be
indulge.
lazy.
Right.
Yeah.
It feels great. Who doesn't want to lay down and, like,
Go me.
yeah, like forget everything. Let me just lay down, watch TV, and eat what I want. You know what I mean? Like, it's easier.
But it makes you feel like shit. So why do people do it? I mean, wouldn't you think?
No, you don't feel like shit when you're comfortable
When you're
Exactly.
doing that.
You feel like shit.
good.
You feel like shit when you have to step up and do things to make your life better or
Yeah.
optimize your health. Then you experience that indulgence, and then after that, you feel like shit.
Now you feel like shit once you start eating right, and then you go back to eating bad. Then
Yeah.
you feel like shit. That's like if you trapped in a room full of shit for 3 months. You get used to it,
Well,
right?
it's like
You leave out, come back, you're like, fuck, man.
it's like going out, man. It's like going out and partying. You're living in the moment. You're having fun, you know. But the next day, you're like, damn it, dude. You
It's
know,
the
and
the
then
hangover.
And then
effect.
you realize too, like, oh, I spent too much money, or oh, I shouldn't have done that, or you know, I shouldn't have hollered at this guy or this girl. Like,
That's
What,
you.
what do
living-
you what do you mean?
That's his experiences.
So like, what do you mean? Like you sometimes
I'm
you
a
have a
s-
regret that you holler at a guy or a
No,
girl?
no.
What are you saying?
No, I was putting that in.
No, it's okay.
He
Talk to
doesn't
us.
see sex.
putting
okay?
that in perspective, man. You know,
does.
but
Are you speaking for women or speaking for yourself?
I'm speaking for myself. Like, oh,
Okay, that's what I wanted to
you
make
know
sure.
what
So
I mean?
you're speaking for yourself if you have regrets on speaking to a guy or
Well,
a girl.
see, that's a great example of living in the moment and not thinking of the future. At least, you know?
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
yeah. Now y'all taking this a little too.
Hey, Logan,
You're not thinking of
No, we're just-
consequences.
It's
little too
okay,
far.
buddy. It's okay, Logan. It's
We accept you for
okay.
But back to your question earlier, from living, in the moment with your daily task, like our schedule. I mean, we get up, hydrate myself, make
Well,
sure.
what time do you wake up every morning? Let's talk about your daily routine, your daily mode. What time do you
let's-
wake up, Logan, in the
break
morning?
this
I wake
down.
up. I set my alarm for 6:30 every
Okay.
morning. And then sometimes I snooze it, sometimes I don't. But I set myself, about 6:30. I wake up. First thing I do, like I said, I get up. I kind of hydrate myself.
You ever heard of the 5-second rule?
No, what do you mean?
5-second rule, where it's like you say you snooze it, but you have 5 seconds to make a decision. So if you next time you think about snoozing it, don't snooze it. Wake up. Boom.
Yeah,
help you out.
Once
hydra-
you get used to getting up at a certain time, you don't even have to set your alarm. I don't have to set my alarm.
Well, I
Yeah.
set my alarm and I wake up before it now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I'm
like a
always
fucking
up.
win. Like if I want to
5:30, I'm up.
if I want to wake up at let's say 4,
Mm-hmm.
I'll set my alarm for 4:30. So by the time like I have basically I'll wake up automatically at 4, and if I can beat my alarm and get a lot of my stuff done before 4:30,
Oh, yeah.
man, it's like a momentum builder for me.
That happened to me yesterday. It felt so good because I was at the gym. I was on the elliptical machine, and while I'm on it, like I get interrupted by my alarm, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like
Yeah.
I done beat my alarm today, but it's a good feeling.
I hate that machine.
The elliptical, it's not good for your hips.
Yeah,
It is bad for you.
be walking around like Phil Jackson if you.
Yeah. But like we were saying, just doing my daily routine, getting up, getting hydrated, starting my day. And what I try not to do is, like you said, focus too much on the on the future. Like I don't want to get up and be like, oh, I have so much shit to do. I have to do this, have to do that, and then next thing you know, you don't get it done. You don't feel accomplished. Like just get up, do the things you need to do and get done.
Yeah.
And then throughout the day, I mean, you're living in the moment. You're doing the things, you're doing the tasks you need to get done.
Sure.
To where you're not forcing something that might never ever happen. You know what I mean?
So, Kendall, you're on. Do we have any questions on Instagram right now, or was there any questions that pulled up?
No, just a lot of haze.
Well, tell
up,
everybody, hey.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
What about Facebook, Gomi? No questions. All right. Well,
I
cool.
love you all.
So, what about you, Derek? As far as like living in the moment, do you have any daily routines? I mean,
Absolutely.
Your schedule's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I have a routine that I go by every day. I get up. I train my personal dogs before I touch anyone else's dog. I feel like if you're a barber, you need to have a haircut.
Yeah.
If you're a dog trainer, your dog needs to be presentable
Oh yeah.
as your demo dog. So I touch my dog before I touch anyone else's dog. Then I deal with the kids. I help my wife get the kids together. Well, let me rewind that. I first thank God for waking me and my family that morning.
You start your morning
I
routine
always
with
start with a
gratitude?
prayer. I always start with a prayer. And then I have my water. Then I start training. Then I help with the kids. And then I'm off to the gym. And then I start training clients' dogs.
Do you pick out your own clothes?
To hell with you, Stan. Do I pick out my
I'm
own?
just asking a question.
Do I pick up my old clothes?
Yeah.
You go to hell, Stan. Hey, look. he's talking about me, right? Because I had to train someone's dog this morning, and I totally forgot about Lonnie. Because Lonnie's all over the place. Someday he'll show up, someday he don't.
Is that Ethan's shirt?
And you know what I'm about to do? Live. I'm about to jab him. Yeah. Went to the body. Shut up.
I like
Do
your
you
shirt,
pick
man.
out? Do you pick out your clothes?
Yeah.
Tay,
Well, actually, no.
do you pick out your daddy clothes, Tay? Because his son, how old are you now, Tay? 17. We have his 17-year-old son here today. And his son dressed way better than his dad.
Guess
So
what?
I know his dad gets helps from his son.
It's supposed to be that way though, right?
Yeah, his son's fly.
You kids gotta look better than you, man.
Yeah, he's smoother than his pops.
Yeah.
That's debatable.
No. Those are facts. Right, Tay? Yep.
So what about you, AZ? I mean, you're a father. You have your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you teach her about living in the moment, or do you even teach her about it?
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's very different. You know, you're dealing with your kids. You want them to be better than you. I noticed all my flaws growing up and looking back, things that I would have done different if I had guidance. Not
Yeah.
saying my parents didn't, but I try to, because this thing, you can't stop kids from being kids. You can't stop kids from hanging around the friends that they're around, kind of picking up their habits. It's kind of unavoidable, right? So like with her, I mean, the whole fascination with being online and being on YouTube and like, it's the part of that generation that I kind of got to understand and evolve with, learn, embrace it. Hey, you like drawing, you like digital art. Hey, I'll help you out. Let's do it together. You know, like I try to get involved in what she does and not be the corny parent either.
Well, it's different now because when we grew up, or well, at least when I grew up, or definitely when Derek grew up, there was no internet, and it's easier for a kid to get influenced.
Hold on, bro. Hold on, man.
This is a
How old are
flame
you,
session.
Stan?
41.
Thank you. He's older than me.
So
Really?
it's
Yeah, he's older than me. Look at him.
it's
He looks
easier.
pretty young.
It's easier to be influenced now
Botox.
for kids, right?
Huh?
It's easier for a kid to be influenced by something else because people that they look up to are just like right there on their phone.
For sure. And I'm saying like kids naturally, I think they're hardwired out the womb. They're already living in the moment because they're not worried about bills. They're not worried about having a job or a career. They're not even thinking about graduating high school except to be at a school.
Well, let's be fair. Let's be fair to kids. I mean, when did you know like you wanted to do music, and then did you know what I mean? Like, because for me, I didn't know my career until I was like, I mean, I kind of knew my career, but I didn't really know my career. You know, in college or nothing growing up.
That's a good question because like with my daughter, I see something that she's good at and she enjoys and loves, and I had to tell her early, you can make a career out of that.
Yeah.
And see, at my age, I just had a fascination with music. I loved every type of music. I thought I wanted to be a DJ because I saw my uncle doing it, but no one ever told me, hey, you can make your own music. I just kind of learned along the way and then found out my own way. If I was 10 or 11 making music, I probably would have been 100 times better than I am now. But I started like 15, 16. You know what I mean?
But you're really good at that, man.
No, thank you.
I give you credit.
It's
if you need some beats, holler at AZ.
What's up?
I promise you, the guy's good at that.
But seriously, like the thing with raising kids today, like yes, embrace the fact they live in the moment. And yes, you're not going to convince them to think about the future, but always use yourself as an example. Mm-hmm. Like my daughter, I can tell when she talks to me, it's very different than how she talks to any other parents or anyone who comes in as a parent figure because like she sees me as cool. But all I am is understanding. Mm-hmm. Like I sit down, I listen to her. If I discipline her, I sit down and tell her why I did it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't.
How old is she?
My daughter?
Yeah.
She's 11.
Will you wear makeup if she wanted to play dress up with you?
Would you let her put makeup
Would you
on
live in that moment?
Well, luckily, she...
Logan would.
No, look, her mom is a makeup artist. My sister is. So, like, she's got people to do that with.
No, but what if she wanted to do it with her dad? Would you do it?
She wouldn't ask me.
How do you know that?
Because she hasn't yet.
But what if she does?
I don't know. She just knows me. Like, she knows her dad. Like she knows she don't like... Like, I don't like being on camera a lot.
Yeah.
She ain't, if she pulls out a camera, she knows to like not get me in it. Like she knows me.
No.
You know what I mean? We respect each other's boundaries.
I have a guy
know what she
that
don't
trains
like.
with us named Zane that's like that. He wants to wear a mask every time we record. Will you dress up for her?
For your kid?
For my, well, I don't have any kids. That's why. I ain't,
No. If AZ daughter said, "Hey,
Oh.
Uncle Logan, let me put some lipstick on you."
Is it helping your kid become a better person?
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's your daughter. You know.
No. Would you do it if she
You
said, "Uncle Logan, would you do it?"
I'll answer that question.
Oh yeah, I guess.
If she really wanted me to do it and we're together, yeah, I'll do it for her.
I mean, if something's
For
gonna.
sure.
In the house.
I'm just playing with you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll do it for her.
You do it too.
I mean, I ain't gonna go to
What
the
about-
mall and do it.
What
Yeah,
about
you
you,
would.
Gomi? Would you do it for his daughter? Yeah. See, instantly, didn't even think about it.
I would do it too. Even Caitlin would do it.
You're asking because you did it.
No,
I guarantee he's done it.
I've never done it. My daughter's two.
Well, it's coming.
But if she wants to like go get a pedicure, manicure, and stuff like that, I'll go do that.
Go.
Yeah.
What
But I ain't
guy
put
doesn't
I
get-
ain't put no pink nail polish and stuff on my fingers. I'm not doing that.
Man, the
Wait,
relationship between
Oh man,
a daddy and a daughter is important, man. That relationship's
Yeah.
so vital. Like,
Yeah.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
Boys, they can almost. I'm not saying they could take care of themselves, but
Punch them in the chest. Pow.
boys can be boys. But with the, you notice when you meet a girl and you know she don't have a father figure in your life, you can almost you can tell.
Yeah.
So, Logan, you have ADHD, right? How hard is it to live in the moment for you? Because your mind has to wander constantly all the time, right?
yeah. I mean, it's hard sometimes, but at the same time, it's not.
How come it's not hard for you in basketball to be in the moment for such a long period of time, having
question.
ADHD?
I can answer that one.
Oh, dude.
When
it
you're
comes
on the bench,
hate it,
when
bro.
you're on the bench, all you do is sit there and twiddle your thumbs and
Dude,
play with
You
micro
want to stay
machines.
busy.
like, that's the same. Basketball is the same with me when it's in sales. Like if I'm not constantly reaching out to somebody, talking to somebody, helping somebody, like I just feel like nothing's being accomplished. So in basketball, if I'm on the court, if I'm not doing what I need to be doing, the plays, the screens, giving it my all or whatever, I feel like I ain't accomplishing. But when I'm on the bench, I'm just chilling. It drives me crazy.
That happens to a lot of decoys.
drives me
I
crazy.
see a lot where decoys, they go out and and time again, they sometimes don't even get to catch a dog or work a dog, right? Like that.
What,
happens.
at training?
Yeah. Like
Oh, no. In training, they going to catch some dogs.
Well, I've seen sometimes on somebody did some posts. I forget his name, but he did some posts. He's like, man, I went out a lot, and I was working some high level dogs, or I had the opportunity to work some high level dogs, and I just never got called out to catch them or anything like that. That's not common.
No. Who is this guy?
I'm not
He
gonna
didn't come
say-
to Dallas, did he?
No.
No,
This is
no.
This is on.
Yeah, because you come to Dallas, we're gonna make sure you leave with some bruises. Yeah, that's a guarantee. You're gonna get bit.
That's why I ain't got bit yet.
I was going to ask you a question, Stan. How do you enjoy, and just living the moment, running a business with, 4 different brands and just all the things you have to accomplish and everything you do from 4 in the morning to, 10 and 11 o'clock at night? Like, how do you find the time to just kind of just have fun and enjoy? Because, I know there's so much stuff going on. I mean,
Yeah, you got family.
you
got
got family, you got to
kids.
run a business, you know what I mean? From a CEO's perspective, like, I kind of wanted to know, like, what it's like to...
Here's the deal, man. I used to, honestly, I did enjoy running a business for a long time. What really, really moves the needle for me is helping people and seeing other people win. So, like, when we decided to scale up and we brought you guys on board, that's when the life in me came out. Being able to come up here and work with you guys. For me, it's not about the money. It's about, damn, dude, the camaraderie. Let's go see them each. Let's see what we can accomplish as a team. That shit fucking moves me, man. Like, now working this business is super fun to me. Not to say that me and Steven didn't have fun doing it. I mean, but it was just a lot of work, and it felt like work. Now it does not feel like work. We come in, we have meetings. I look forward to seeing you guys in the morning. I have accountability partners where I feel like, damn, I got to outwork them, because if I don't lead by example, then I'm not a leader. You know what I'm saying? So, and you guys elevate and you guys feed off of it. But then at the same time, I don't say that you guys work for me or Steven. You work with us. So, because there's a lot of things that we make, just about every decision we make as a team, even though everybody holds a different area. But again, I had to make some sacrifices. One, I had to quit drinking, right?
Yeah.
Because I needed to close the gap on my sleeping window and maximize my minutes. So that's why I try to pull out 18-hour days. Now, the 18-hour days is not all work. It's kind of like I'll work for like 12 to 13 hours, and then I spend about 5 hours. I try to spend time now with my family and my relationships and stuff. So, yeah, like for me, man, like this, I don't know, it's kind of like a clubhouse now. Like, get to
Yeah.
wake up and we come up here, get to optimize, finally get to do the things that I've always visualized and wanted to do
Yeah.
with this business. So to me, it's not work, man. I get to meet a lot of people online, social media. I'm not a big social media person. But I feel like we have to because we're in the social media area. But
Yeah.
shit, man, I don't like posting a lot, unless I have to. And it's all business related and impact and
Right.
inspiring shit. But
Good
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Good question, Logan.
Appreciate it.
Like that, man. We're going to switch your seats around.
Did you write that
all
down?
right, so.
Just kidding.
Well, there's no questions at all on. Well, man, everybody on Facebook and Instagram, thank you for tuning in. We wanted to give you guys some perspective on the behind the scenes of what we do over here. But again, if you could do us a solid and leave us a 5-star review if you found any golden nuggets out of this podcast, message us, man. Let us know if there's any topics that you want to talk about, or if there's anything you're ever struggling. Don't be afraid. Live in the moment. No question's a dumb question. Hit up Derek, hit up Logan, hit up AZ, hit up myself. And again, thank you everybody for listening. Man, we appreciate your support. We couldn't do it without you. And man, let's solve some more problems in the future, man. Talk to y'all soon.
Peace.